The gym on the Navy base was nearly empty that Friday evening, just the sound of a mop sliding across the polished floor, the faint hum of overhead lights, and the slow, rhythmic breathing of a man who clearly wasn't just any janitor. His name was Daniel Cole, a single dad who kept his head down, his hands busy, and his heart buried deep beneath years of quiet pain. The sailors who passed him daily barely noticed the way his eyes scanned the room like a tactician, or how his movements were too precise, almost disciplined. To them, he was just the guy who cleaned the mats and locked up after hours. But to those who paid attention, the way he stretched before mopping or the calm control in his posture, there was something different about him. Something, trained that night, fate decided to peel back the curtain. Admiral Thomas Graves, a man with a reputation as sharp as his uniform, had stopped by the gym after a long day of meetings. He was one of those leaders everyone both respected and feared, strong, disciplined, never one to joke around. Yet when he saw Daniel mopping near the sparring mat, something about the man's quiet confidence caught his attention. "Hey, janitor," the Admiral said, tossing off his jacket and stretching his arms, "you look like you could use some fun. How about a quick spar?" The sailors nearby laughed nervously. A few whispered, thinking it was a cruel joke. The janitor, sparring with an admiral? But Daniel simply smiled, setting his mop aside. "Are you sure, sir?" he asked, voice low and calm. The Admiral grinned. "Come on, son. I promise I'll go easy on you." Daniel didn't answer. He just tied the loose drawstring on his old gym pants and stepped barefoot onto the mat. Within seconds, the room fell silent. The Admiral lunged first, quick, powerful, a lifetime of military training behind every move. But Daniel didn't block or dodge out of panic. He moved like water, smooth, controlled, effortless. He redirected the Admiral's strike with a simple twist of the wrist, sending him stumbling forward, then stepping back with a soft nod of respect. No one spoke. Even the Admiral paused, blinking in disbelief. "Where'd you learn that?" he muttered. Daniel just smiled. "Long time ago." They went again. This time faster, harder. The Admiral's strikes became serious, his pride on the line. Daniel countered each one, never striking back, only neutralizing. His footwork, his balance, his timing, they weren't just good. They were elite. When the Admiral finally managed to catch Daniel's arm and pull him forward, the janitor rolled, sweeping the Admiral gently to the mat, not slamming him, not embarrassing him, just ending the motion with precision and control. Then Daniel stood, offering a hand to help him up. The Admiral took it slowly, eyes narrowing in recognition. "You're no janitor," he said quietly. Daniel hesitated. The room waited. Finally, he spoke. "Used to be. Commander Daniel Cole, Navy SEAL Team 6, retired. My son needed me more than the Navy did." The silence that followed was heavy. Even the Admiral, who had commanded some of the toughest men alive, didn't speak right away. He just looked at Daniel, seeing now not a janitor, but a man who had given up everything: career, glory, identity, for family. Later, as they sat on the edge of the mat, the Admiral finally asked, "Why'd you take this job? Cleaning floors after what you've done, after what you've been?" Daniel looked at his hands, calloused from years of labor and war alike. "Because my son needed to see his dad come home every night." Not another folded flag. The Admiral didn't say a word. He just nodded, a deep, knowing nod. In that quiet, a kind of respect formed that few men ever earned. The next morning, word had spread across the base. The janitor who'd taken down the Admiral was the same man who once led covert rescue missions that never made it to the news, the same man whose unit was said to have saved hundreds in silence. Suddenly, sailors stood when he passed. Officers greeted him first. But Daniel never changed. He still mopped the same floors, cleaned the same mats, and smiled the same quiet smile. A few weeks later, the Admiral found him again, this time sitting outside the gym, watching his young son practicing push-ups. "You know," the Admiral said softly, "we could use someone like you training our new recruits." Officially. Daniel looked at his boy, maybe 8 years old, laughing as he counted reps aloud, and smiled. "I'll help, sir," he said. "But only after I tuck him in." The Admiral chuckled. "Fair deal." And from that day forward, the base gym changed. The sailors trained harder, not because of orders, but because of the quiet man who taught them what real strength looked like, not medals, not ranks, but humility, sacrifice, and heart. Daniel never talked about his past again. But every time a new recruit asked who he was, someone would say, "That's the man who beat the admiral, and did it with respect." And in every lesson he taught, in every soft correction, Daniel left behind more than skill. He left a message, one that echoed long after the mats were cleaned and the lights went out: you don't have to shout to prove your strength. Sometimes, the quietest men carry the loudest stories. So, if you're watching this right now, take a moment to remember the people around you who fight silent battles every day. The ones who don't wear medals but deserve them. The ones who choose love over pride, and humility over fame. And if Daniel's story touched you even a little, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe, because sometimes, the world just needs to hear one more story about a quiet hero who refused to stay invisible.